Good morning, students. I hope you all are fine. Dear students, as you know that we were reading the 7th chapter of your book Beehive, and we read that how Jerome, the writer, created mess while packing the bag, and after that how Harris and George created mess while packing food basket. So Montmorency also contributed in creating mess. What did he do? Let us read in this part. Montmorency was in it all. Of course, Montmorency's ambition in life is to get in the way and be sworn at. Sworn at means get scolded. If he was squirm means to twist one's body side to side. To twist one's body side to side. In anywhere he particularly is not wanted and be a perfect nuisance and make people mad and have things thrown at his head. Then he feels his day has not been wasted. To get somebody to stumble over him means to trip over a hurdle or to hit over and curse him steadily, continuously for an hour is his highest aim and object. And when he had succeeded in fulfilling this, his conceit means excessive pride, becomes quite unbearable, means intolerable. So, in this passage, Jerome's pet dog Montmorency participated in all this, or in creating all this mess. His aim was to interrupt everyone and got scolded for it. Jerome says that if Montmorency was able to twist into a place and create nuisance by angering people and get things thrown at him in return, he felt that he had utilized the day in a very good way. After that, Montmorency's aim was to get people trip over him and scold him. By doing this, he felt that he had accomplished his aim, and he would feel proud of his achievements when he was able to make people angry. And after that, he used to feel proud. His prideness was unbearable, quite unbearable, intolerable. So, what happened next? He came and sat down on things just when they were wanted to be packed, and he labored under the fixed belief that whenever Harris or George reached out their hand for anything, it was his cold, damp nose. Damp means slightly wet, that they wanted. He put his leg into the jam and he worried the teaspoons, and he pretended that lemons were rats and got into the hamper and killed 3 of them before Harris could land him with the frying pan. So Montmorency sat on the things when Harris and George wanted to pack them, the things when they wanted to be packed, and then he used to sit on them. They were reaching out for his cold, wet nose. They means George and Harris. Whenever they wanted to find the things, they always got the old, damp, slightly wet nose of Montmorency and would bring it forward for them. He stepped into the jam. Montmorency stepped into the jam bottle. He shook the teaspoons, spoiled the teaspoons also, and he acted as if the lemons were rats and stepped into the hamper, stepped into the basket to kill these rats. Actually, they were lemons, but he pretended that they were rats, so he killed 3 lemons. He spoiled 3 lemons, and after that, he was stopped by Harris. Harris hit him with a frying pan. Before that, he was able to spoil 3 lemons. Then what happened? Harris said, I encouraged him. I didn't encourage him. A dog like that doesn't want any encouragement. It is the natural original sin that is born in him that makes him do things like that. Here, Harris was blamed. Jerome was blamed by Harris. Harris blamed on Jerome for encouraging Montmorency for doing all these mischiefs. Jerome said that a dog like Montmorency did not need any encouragement. It was born to be like that. That dog was Montmorency was born like that, and he was acting. He acted like that. Actually, Jerome wanted to say that he had not encouraged that Montmorency dog. Yeah, it was the original. It was his original nature. Whatever the dog was doing, it was naturally in his behavior, naturally in his, you can say, in his nature. So the packing was done at 12:50, and Harris sat on the big hamper and said he hoped nothing would be found broken. George said that if anything was broken, it was broken, which reflection seemed to comfort him. He also said he was ready for bed. We were all ready for bed. We all means George, Harris, and Jerome. Harris was to sleep with us that night, and we went upstairs. So at 12:50 they packed everything, the hampers, the bag, everything. Harris sat on the hamper and said that hopefully nothing would break in it. George was indifferent and said that if something broke, it would not matter. As they were ready for bed, they went upstairs to sleep. Then what happened? We tossed. We tossed for beds, and Harris had to sleep with me. He said, "Do you prefer the inside or outside?" I said, "I generally prefer to sleep inside a bed." Harry said, "It was odd." George said, "What time shall I wake you, fellows?" Fellows here means Harris and Jerome. Harry said, "7." After that, I said, "No, 6, because I wanted to write some letters." Harris and I had a bit of a row over it, but at last we split the difference and said 6:30. "Wake up at 6:30, George," we said. So everybody decided that they all will wake up at 6:30. So what happened? After doing the packing, uh, they settled everything, and they said that they wanted to sleep. As they settled in their beds, Harris asked Jerome if he preferred the inside or outside of the bed. Jerome said that he preferred to sleep on the inside of the bed. This seemed strange. To Harris and George, and they asked them that he should wake up them at what time. George asked actually. George asked them means they asked from Harris and Jerome. George asked that he should wake up them at what time. Harris replied that 7, while Jerome wanted to wake up at 6. At last, they decided that they wake up at 6:30. As he had to write some letters, so Jerome wanted to wake up at 6. So Harris and Jerome had a discussion on the time, and finally they settled on 6:30 each. 6:30 they decided the time, and they slept. Then what happened? George made no answer, and we found on going over that he had been asleep for some time. So we placed the bath where he could tumble into and getting out in the morning and went to bed ourselves. So George did not respond as he was asleep. When they decided that 6:30, George was not responding because he was asleep. Harris and George made mischief by placing the bathtub next to the George's bed so that he would fall into that bathtub as in the morning he would wake up. So they did a mischief, and after that they all slept. This was the lesson, dear students, and it was only the story of three friends packing. And what have you learned? That you have seen that uh, humor was created at first. You have seen that in this chapter, and it is described in this lesson ki uh, this lesson describes the do's and don'ts of packing. What should we do? What should we not do? How should we do? Packing is an art. You have learned this. You have seen this in this chapter. Packing is a serious task that is that needs concentration and deftness. Definite means quality of being skillful. So it is packing is also a serious matter that needs concentration and deftness. So this was the lesson. I hope you have understood this. Read it again. Thank you.